I think the meta's changed for Blue-White Approach, but it's kind of my signature, so I'm going to keep playing it every day. Or most every day. Hand's weak, but keepable. Probably wouldn't keep it on the draw. Actually, I might. I keep about anything. Mulligan, or opponent mulligan to 4. I don't know if like the chat and stuff can see that. Won't cycle to cast out because when we see a village, fortified village, we automatically assume that it's ramp and hitting a one of those enchantments could actually be relevant. What's up, Local Dope? What are you into today, bub? I wonder if Ginger's ever going to play again. The sad thing is they mulligan to 4, and if they just hit their land drops, we still just lose. That's how bad this match is. Like, it doesn't matter what you do. If they hit their land drops and have an Eldrazi, you can't win. Or have Eldrazi's. You can sometimes, like, beat one or whatever, but... If I saw him, I might message him later if I remember. If you'd send me a Facebook message, I'll definitely message him. I'll remember that way. Oh, I forgot I was supposed to do something for Rain Soda, and I forgot. We kind of need both lands. As bad as that is. Let me write myself a little note here. Respond to Rain Soda. Sorry about that. I probably shouldn't have kept a second farmland, the more I think about it. It's kind of blah. But having any land seem better than having no lands. And it will buy us a bunch of time if all they have is like a World Breaker. Yeah, I saw he had the Bristling Hydra build. Well, that's a good sign. Remember, our opponent mulliganed to 4. I know he started college and stuff like that, but I just don't think there's any reason to attack him. Maybe we can get this big enough to survive a hit from something. I don't know. Alright, well, he didn't have a... Okay, he didn't have anything. Thankfully, they didn't have anything, but as you can see, he just like hit his lands and was kind of into this game. We do have a second summary dismissal these days in our sideboard, which is pretty nice. I believe we decided these weren't worth it and these could be worth it. We definitely don't want those. I think we can shave on at least one of these, or maybe we just keep them all and get rid of the glares, who knows. Yeah, fumigates for the cats seem okay. Trying a little different sideboarding plan here. I used to bring in the cats in this match, but a guy called Chris talked me out of it. Makes sense. Alright. This hand's almost keepable. I mean, a double cast out. We have a center. Sure, we'll keep it. Keep into one land greedy hand. We have to keep greedy hands versus them anyway because their match is so good versus us. And we have a lot of draw steps if you include the cast outs. The third approach obviously isn't what we were wanting. But anyway, so this is the second draw step. Third draw step. Would censor any 3-drop that he plays that produces mana of any kind. I'm probably willing to cast a cast out. Or to cycle a cast out, I mean. I guess not. We can wait and see if I hit our draw step or not. If we do, we can kill another one of his lands. Oh. Get actually punished, because if we draw an untapped land now, we can't Glimmer. Alright, well, we didn't draw an untapped land, so there was no punishment at all. We knew this was a greedy keep when we kept it, but we did go 13 cards deep into our deck, so. Just have to kill anything that can produce mana. Or negate anything that can produce mana. They don't really do anything else. Hey, what's up, Altrocity? What are you into, bub? Ooh, you watch commercials. Alright, well, this game's almost over. Warping Well. So they brought in Warping Wells to counter our approach. That's something we have to think about in the future. Alright, we'll just go ahead and go to the next game. Right. Now, on the play, I will try to cast, because sometimes you can just slip in a turn 3 cat and get there. I don't know what's the other card I want to cut. Kinda just want to cut this Fumigate, but it's probably wrong. It's probably actually just Little Chads. What are you into today, Al? What's up, Cursed? I want a couple Fumigates just in case they're on the Cat Scratch Fever plan themselves. Yeah, well, this hand's a lot better than what we had last game. It's obviously still not great, but they don't have any relevant 1 or 2 drops, so we will get to the censor on time. It's just, will we hit more lands? A Fraben would suck, but land? Not a land. Yeah, well, if we just don't draw lands in game 2 or 3, we're obviously going to lose. I technically have Streamlab. I just don't know how to use it. I've tried. Wasn't a ramp spell, so that's good for us. Untap land one time? Nice. I do, in fact, have Streamlabs. I'm just not a smart man. Thought-Knot Seer. I guess we're going to counterspell that too. I'm just trying to figure out which counterspell is better. Probably the Censor, because I might not be able to get value out of it later. I'm going to go ahead and cycle the cast out as well. And here we're in a tight spot. Like, if I play the Glimmer, he can resolve anything he wants. So, I think it's better that I play the Supreme Will to look for the land. Because any untapped land is all that we really want, and it leaves us for a negate to get us our. I know you can earn bits, but like it seems like it's a lot of effort. So I'm pretty glad that we played the Supreme Wheel over this. We can't really afford to miss our land drop, so I'm very happy we did it in that manner. Yeah. So a negate and an untap land would be our best two draws, but we would take land. It's starting not to look very good for us here. Yeah, but don't you like have to refresh it and stuff like that, and then like spend like 45 minutes watching something? Well, they had the second hour, so let's hope they don't have Ulamog, folks. If they had Ulamog, we're drawing exceptionally thin. Alright, so we're really hoping for no Ulamog here. He would have to have a shrine in his hand for it to be Ulamog as well. The way he's played his hand, I'm assuming he just has Warping Well. Well, that's not the best for us, because if he has Warping Well, he's got a pretty fast clock, and he can just take the Fumigate here. Or he can take the Glimmer and then counterspell to Fumigate. Either way, we know our payoff card is going to be 6 cards down after our draw step. It's a pretty tight choice for him. But if he made that play, you know that he has a... just know that he has a Warping Well, pretty much. Oh, he did not have a Warping Well. He even F6'd. Wow, he even F6'd. So I guess he has an Ulamog, and we're going to get brown that way? That's 10 mana. If he has an Ulamog, I'm going to be kind of tilted. Alright, we don't care about that one. That's one we can beat. So now we know it's 5 cards down. Be 4 cards down after our draw step. Talk to you later, Al. In any turn that he taps out 10 mana for that Ulamog is a chance for us to win. Kind of have to dodge Warping Well now. We could actually get to negate too, possibly. I think we're fine as long as they don't have multiple Eldrazi. They only have one Eldrazi, we're probably A-okay. I think I should have played Cataract last turn, but... Lost Legacy. Well, we only have one kill condition in our deck, so... Alright, well, we're drawing thin now. So our opponent had to have Lost Legacy and Thought-Knot Seer to beat us. He could mess up and target the Blighted Cataract. That'd be sweet. Did not mess up and top the bladder cataract. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we can technically sack this and still have 7 mana on our next turn. Oh, there's an approach, and I don't think he has the land, so I think we're going to steal a game versus ramp. He didn't attack this turn either. But we stole a game versus ramp. It's a pretty hard match. If he'd hit the land last turn for that, sorry, not the turn that he played it, but like the turn previous to that, we probably wouldn't have beat it. By the way, if you guys like a fairly decent chill stream that has a lot of first-person shooters and a little League of Legends, you guys can go follow Atrocity. Give him a watch. Kind of laid back. He cusses people. It's kind of fun. It's good folks. He's who I do most of my ranked League of Legends with. Anyway, anytime you're in chat, if you're interested in the deck list, you can always type !deck list, and it gives you to a printed deck list as well, to where you can like just read cards like Getting of the Trials per se if you didn't know what the card did, instead of just seeing a picture. Also, if you're in chat and you like what you're seeing, give us a follow, and go follow the YouTube and the Twitter as well. On the Twitter, you can see every time I go live, and on the YouTube, and all the deck lists I play. And on the YouTube, I post all of the streams. I'm going to post some non-stream content on there as well. And in every YouTube video, the deck we're playing is in the descriptions. Is the deck we're playing, a link to the Twitch and a link to the Twitter. Anyway, we'll play first. We're going to mulligan this. We have 2 5-drops already that we don't even have 1 land for. I'll actually keep this one. It's a pretty bad draw as well, but we get to scry with this one, and we have a Censor for turn 2 in case we'd missed. Oh, sorry, a Censor to scry on turn 2. This is obviously a fairly weak hand, though, and like if they just lead with basic Mountain or something, we're unlikely to win. Most decks that are basic planes we're kind of actually unlikely to beat as well. Selfless Spirit's a pretty hard card for us to beat game 1. That one's less hard for us to beat. Go ahead and cycle that. We already have the backup Glimmer. Really want an untapped land. That's not an untapped land. Well, I feel like we need to land more than we need anything, so just going to cycle a Censor and look for a land. Alright, going to cycle a second Censor and look for another land. Well, 11th card down to find the 3rd land, but if he doesn't add anything too powerful to the board, we do have double counterspell. Alright, well, we're not worried about that card. I mean, it's a pretty fast clock, but we do have a Blessed Alliance and we have a counterspell. And we have a Fumigate if we get there. Have to take the 5 here. Gideon's just too powerful. That card's actually kind of annoying. I think I'm going to counterspell it. Well, our lands have just been so silly this game. I guess we're not going to worry about the cast out. We're not going to worry about the censor. He can play the Gideon anyway, and if he has a horse or whatever, we've got the Fumigate we can play. If he plays kind of a bad creature, something we don't really care about, like maybe Archangel or whatever, we could try to censor it on the next turn. We could just pay 5 mana for a horse, which is fine. That's not a land. Alright. What do I think Magic Next is? I think Magic Next is going to be what they hope to replace Moto with. Or Digital Next, or whatever they call it. I think it's going to be what they hope to replace Moto with. Will they be successful for replacing Moto? I don't know. Like, people losing thousands of dollars from their collection, they need to have a plan for that, or they're going to have, like, just a massive public outcry. The thing that they're introducing today is going to be some kind of card game. I think it's going to be similar to Hearthstone. I'm hoping it's just arenas, because if there's a constructed system, it's going to be kind of bad. But if I was guessing, I would say what they're releasing today is just like a revamped and improved Duels of the Planeswalker. That would be my guess for today. Let's just cycle the censor first. We could hit like a Wrath of God and then like not even care about these things. Alright, we'll counterspell it then. That'd be my guess for today. It's just like the next Digital Next, like some kind of cheaper platform of that nature. If it was Hearthstone with a magic skin, it would just kill Moto, right? So it like basically has to be some phantom program where they don't really have big tournaments and stuff for, because they don't want to compete with what they have. Possibly, anyway. I'm not sure. Like, I've always liked this horse deck. Like, I don't know how powerful it is. I even thought my red decks were favored versus it, but like, I've always liked it, and it's always felt like it did some things. I apologize if you guys can hear the phone ringing. It's kind of like ringing off the hook. Oh, well, do we want 2 approaches? Sure, we'll take 2 approaches. They do money grab, but like, Moto makes them tons and tons and tons of money. So why would they want to kill, or why would they want to damage a product that's already like just pumping out money when they could just make a better Duels, which was also pumping out money? Like, why would they want one platform to take over the other when they could just have 2 platforms? So this hand has to be real bad. He's had 3 cards most of this game and just not did anything with them. I'm actually surprised we won this game. With our start anyway. I think Wizards has made some poor decisions, but I think overall they're a good company. I think they could probably be twice what they are had they made better decisions, but I do think overall they're a pretty good company. So, versus all these little creature decks, I think all of these cards that stall are pretty good, and since they have the big horses and stuff, and presumably access the Selfless Spirit Guide, I think I want the Descends as well. I think I'm just willing to slow down my deck quite a bit. I think I want to get rid of the Hieroglyphs. I don't think we care a whole lot about the counter spells. I believe we still want all of our removal. Even though I typically sideboard out Blessed Alliance versus Thraben Inspector decks, I believe Blessed Alliance is pretty good in this match post one of our 6 Wraths. So I think we'll still keep it there. I just don't think I want our counter spells. I don't think I want any of our counter spells, really. Just kind of like play a slower white deck here. Slower, like, blue-white deck. Splashing just for practically Glimmer. It's kind of interesting. Hello, J-Bob. I don't think I saw you around. Yeah, we'll find... Well, I won't find out in 30 minutes. You know where I'll be in 30 minutes. I'll be right here. Well, they mulliganed. This hand's kind of slow, but they're typically a slow deck unless they Glory-Bound Initiate into exactly Always Watching, so I think we can afford to be a little bit slower. We have 6 spells that we can play on turn 2 as well to like try to get rid of a Glory-Bound if they have it. We have to find one of them, but like we have 6. If they don't have an Always Watching, this is still fine for us. So no Always Watching. So Spear Harvester would be good still. Rip. Harvester is very good here. Cat's pretty good here too. Cat Scratch Fever! Double Cat's real good. Double Cat's often better than just playing a Fumigate. Because it like makes them commit so many millions to the board. Well, that Lone Rider's an issue. So you get to attack us for 7 this turn and flip the Lone Rider. Yep, that might be more than we can handle. Or 6 this turn. So they've got a lethal attack next turn. And we're just dead. What's up, Boot? Doing pretty good. We're 1-0 today, but we're dead on board right now, so. We did keep a slow hand. Like, we didn't play a spell. There's some chance he doesn't go for it, I guess. I assume he's going to go for it. There's no reason for him not to go for it because he'd be sacrificing that anyway to a Blessed Alliance if we had it. Nope. Not really. We're winning about 68% over the history of us playing this deck, but our win rate's been going down over the past 2 weeks. Like, the meta's shifted, and I've not felt particularly good over the last couple of weeks. I don't really think we want to change anything. Again, still just don't think I want to, like, hold up counter spells to, like, stop, like, little 3-mana white weenie cards. We just need to draw more of our, like, 8 cheaper interactive spells, and us being on the play helps a lot, too. Maybe a Censor's okay. A little bit better on the play than the draw. Yeah, we'll try the Censor. But no, I don't, I need to keep spreadsheets, but I haven't been. That's probably the next thing I'm going to add to the stream. Keeping up with spreadsheets, because I actually get asked questions like that fairly often. It's not been good over the last 2 weeks, though. I'll go ahead and tell you that. Like, the last 2 weeks have been pretty bad. We have a problem with the ramp decks, and the ramp decks have become a lot more popular, and we have a problem with the blue-black Scarab God decks, and they've become a lot more popular as well. I've not read today's previews yet. I really like the one that like makes a 3/3 haster when it comes into play. That card's pretty powerful. But I've not read today's. All I want to do is put a dinosaur in like a smuggler's copter or something. That will bring me much joy. Alright, perfect draw for us right now would be Glimmer. Really want a Glimmer. Red Rover, send those Glimmers on over. Cast out's acceptable. We can get the next big threat they play. Lone Rider, okay, maybe they'll play 2 creatures. That's not 2 creatures at all. And we have a Descend. Oh, right on time, Glimmer. Thank you. Actually, just kind of want to play Little Chad here. If he doesn't have very much to add to the board, this is pretty solid. Oh, Rampant Growth when damaged. That's sick. A 3/3 with Rampant. Ooh. It's the best chump blocker that could ever chump block. So that's a cat. How badly do we care about taking damage? Probably not at all, because we have to Descend. So we don't really care if they resolve a horse. We just want to hit our land drops. I don't think we're going to need to Caracal this game. I think we're actually going to be able to win with the approach pretty easily. He could have Gideon's Intervention, but we probably will have time to find another cast out. Dino Tribo. I'm a fan. Mostly testing them out because the version from the Grand Prix had Glare. I personally like Meltdown more. I assume we'll be going back to Meltdown. But it's mostly just trying them out because the top 8 list from the Grand Prix had Glare. I think Meltdowns do more, like, there's Heart of Kirans and there's, like, Effort Spear Harvesters and, like, relevant spells like that in the format that actually do a lot of work. Yeah, I guess I can take another hit. We know it's 6 cards down. This gets us 4 cards down. So if, like, any one of those cards hit a Cycler, we win. Might as well do it main phase too to see if we can hit a Little Chad. Oh. Alright, well that works. That works, friends. Sure. So there are Meltdowns on top of our deck, but like I thought it was pretty safe because no matter what he put on the board, we had to Descend that turn. And if we'd hit a Cycler, with our last mana on the last turn, we'd have been able to get to this approach anyway without drawing the other approach. Anyway, let's pop up the deck. Oh well, never mind. There's the deck. Yeah, I'm definitely pretty interested in that. I wish Radiant Flames wasn't leaving, because how sweet would it be to like get all of those cool enraged dinos and like be able to Radiant Flames and like keep your dinos alive. Selfless Spirit will kill a lot of our dinos. There's not Selfless Spirit, Sweldering Suns. I'll slap myself in the face. I personally like Meltdowns more though. What's this casting cost? That Enrage ability is going to be a lot better than I think people are giving it credit for. Like somebody in my local chat today had wrote that they don't think any of the mechanics or anything from the new set are going to be very good, and they're not going to affect Standard much. But I think Enraged is, I think it's pretty good. This hand's fine. We've got a good start on lands. We've got something to handle an early aggressive drop, and we have a draw 2 for like slower games. 5, not bad. And This isn't the type of hand that we want versus ramp. And again, anytime I see a green-white land right now, my mind immediately goes to ramp. But ramp's kind of a nightmare match for this deck anyway. Getting ready to bless and alliance this Fraben Inspector, friends. Is it a must include? No, I don't think it's a must include, but I've been very happy with it. I do sideboard it out in some matches, and since I sideboard it out in some matches, I do think there's worlds where you don't play it, but I'm pretty happy with the card. The treasures seem good for constructed if constructed slows down. They seem great for constructed if constructed slows down. Like, how good would these treasures have been during, like, the Jund formats? I just don't know if their format's that mid-rangey now. Alright, well, if they don't have any Eldrazi, we've found how we can win. Not going to cycle this. We're just going to kind of sit back and hope right now. So far, they've not played a land drop. Oh, never mind. There's their land drop. So they can play Worldbreaker this turn. We could censor it, but like, them putting it under a graveyard and getting to kill another land doesn't really help us. I think it would be better to actually just cast Glimmer and look for more lands than a cast out. Or wait. What red cards did you play again? Well, that card's worth killing. He didn't play a land drop this turn. He didn't play an Eldrazi this turn, so he like might just be on Ulamog. Wonder if it's okay to cycle this now. It's probably okay, but we're not going to. We're just going to look for lands of the Glamour, literally putting any card on the bottom that's not exactly a land. To the bottom. To the bottom. Would not have kept any non-land there. Looking for a land again. Not a land again. They just paid 6 mana to do something they could have did with 4 mana and added to the board, by the way. Alright, well, we found a land, so... yeah. If they don't have any World Breakers, like, we have a chance. We can beat an Ulamog with what we see. But obviously not killing a Fraben. Mechanized I'm ready to see that one. Every meta's different, Job, so that's kind of hard to say. Are there a lot of red deck wins where you play? If there's not a lot of red deck wins, you can like cut the 40s out of the sideboard and just load up with some more summary dismissals and negates, and that's probably what I would want to play. That's what I think I'm going to play this week. at my local event. Alright, so let's start with a Glimmer. Again, not keeping anything but lands and or approaches now. I'll actually keep an approach now. You're technically a land, but kind of just don't want you. Now I'm drawing 3 cards. I don't want you. You come into play tapped. You get out of here. You get out of here, you come into play tap land. Go ahead and play this while we can. We'll be at 6 cards on our next draw step. Give me the Jeeper. I hate for that to be good, man. But I played man. Yeah, Braid's about the only hate. There's cast outs in quite a few decks, but that's about it. But depending on it's all depending on your meta, like how many of. Well, they found a World Breaker, but we can still top deck an approach and just win. So if they have an untapped land, they can play Ulamog. And if they play Ulamog, we can't win, can we? Don't really have an out to Ulamog. We'd have to find cast out. Alright, we'll just pass then. They may not have an untapped land, like, they've not shown one for multiple turns. Crap, they had the land, and Ulamog wins the game. Nothing we can do to beat this Ulamog either. Literally nothing we can do to beat it. Alright, so we can look, what's our best chance of beating it? We'll go ahead and have to hit a cast out in the next 4 cards. And that counterspell it, I guess. And then try to find a land somewhere else. But he's still got 5 cards in hand and he's not been making land drops. Guess we could counterspell it. Counterspelling it doesn't really seem like it's going to win. Alright. It's better than looking for a cast out, I think. So we went 2 cards down and a card on our draw step, so it's 3 cards. So technically, with luck, we could win the next turn, but like they're just gonna have another Ulamog, right? Yeah, they're just gonna have another Ulamog. If they don't have another Ulamog, we have a chance. Just go ahead and take it. We're ready to scoop to another Ulamog. Yep, it was double Ulamog. Alright, never going to beat them when they kill 5 of our lands. So bring what few counterspells we have in. These Blessed Alliances are pretty poor. The Sins are better than Fumigates. Still want some Fumigates though, in case they like flood the board with Hours or have like Fault-Not Seer or Tireless Tracker. Little Gideon's not real good. I kind of want to bring the Caracols in, but like I don't know how they're going to sideboard, so we're on to play. We're just gonna go like this game. Now, still killing our lands, this makes it so hard. Uncounterspellable ways to kill our lands. Oh, sweet. Mulligan. This hand's a keep. We're not happy to keep it, but it's definitely a keep. Unfortunately, we have to put that on the bottom because we don't have land. Gonna snap Cycle of Sensor. Oops, didn't mean to click that. Can't press F6 now. They do feel like they've been in a little bit too long. I'm so ready to see him go, but I miss Innistrad already. No, I like this format. I don't even really mind the Eldrazi. Like, I don't care about the Eldrazi being there versus any other. I don't care about the Eldrazi at all. I'm just saying they're a bad match for this deck. The fact that they exist doesn't bother me. What's up, George? Really? He has no play? Or is he just playing around a sensor? Getting smashed by Eldrazi at the moment. I hate people who go to the second main phase like that. Like, how often do they catch somebody? It's just like just trying to be sleazy. He can have a gift because we have a cast out. Yeah, I was playing Jeskai Black. And like landfall stuff. It was pretty sweet. Rip. I really can't play a draw two here because if they play ours, it's just too devastating for me. The problem is not playing a draw two there probably beats me. So like now I'm trying to play this game that I can't really win. But like I couldn't let this spell resolve or the game was just over. If they play another one of those cards, I actually have to cast a cycle to try to find something. Regal Caracal. Okay, we can beat a Caracal. We'll allow that one. That's something that's beatable. Whoops. Tapped our mana wrong. So we need lands and we need spells. That's two bad things to need. We need lands and spells. They didn't play a sixth land though. I was playing Landfall then. I really liked my Landfall Rally match, even though most people told me I was insane. So that cheeky little Immolating Glare gives us a lot of time. Huh, well, our lot of times just went out the window. At a second hours. Rip. So we need to find summary dismissals pretty quickly. We have literally one on the bottom of the deck that we scryed. For a land-light hand, we sure found the lands. We found 10 and 17 cards. Oh, it's not looking promising, friends. We beat this match once already today, though, and we know it's one of our worst matches, so, like, considering we've already stole a win, we're not really upset if we lose. $11 to the big announcement, and then no one any longer watches me. Sure, it's a world breaker. Well, what do we got? Oh, there's a summary dismissal. Right on time summary dismissal. Do I keep the summary dismissal for the next one anyway? So he's got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Can kill us a number of ways. Alright, goodbye summary dismissal. We're ready to die to Ulamogs. Ready to die to Ulamogs. As for Magic, sorry, they're announcing what the Magic Arena is today on the actual Magic channel at 4 p.m. Eastern, so about 10 minutes. Well, they can't play Ulamog this turn, so at least that's good. Because we can beat Eldrazi, we just can't beat Ulamog. Can't beat a lot of Eldrazi. Oh, Oblivion Sower? We can beat that. Of course, you know, that gets them to Ulamog. They got 2 of our approaches. That's pretty good. Really kind of wish we'd kept that summary dismissal now, but how are we to know that we'd get another turn? And a cat? Wow, that was a good one for him. Maybe we don't get another turn. Better than being dead. Yeah, we play Approach most non-weekend days. They hit our own Blighted Cataract, and they found a blue land. Not that matters or anything, because I'm pretty sure they just have Ulamog, but like, they found it. I guess that's something, right? That's kind of cute. So they've killed 3 of our lands. How you doing today, Steve? We're drawing pretty thin now. He may hit every kill condition of this trigger. He did not. There's still an approach left in our deck, and there's still 2 cast outs left in our deck. Alright, well, we're technically not dead. If he plays practically any spell here that puts a creature on the board, we are definitely dead. One cast out left in the deck? Yeah, 1 cast out left in the deck. So we have 1 answer to Ulamog left in our deck. And if we were to draw it, we can't beat anything else, so. Alright, we're definitely dead now. We have no out. They didn't hit the cast out or to approach. Grats, man. I'm glad you did. So I don't have an out to both things. I don't have enough mana to even get a draw to and hit both things. I should scoop, but I just want to see what my draw step is. And sometimes when you scoop, Moto doesn't let you look at your draw step. Not sure why he's taking so long. It's like making us looking at this draw step just not be worth it. Oh, he's going to mill me for 4? He even hit one of my rivulets. Alright, so we are dead then, because we know what we put on bottom. And he's got another rivulet. Oh, whoops, I'm looking at the wrong one. That's weird. Huh. Where's it at then? I'm just overlooking it. Oh, never mind. He had hit 4 approaches, apparently. I just didn't see one of them. Never mind. We've been dead for a while, probably. I didn't see this approach at the top. Either way, we were dead that match, approach or not. I just wanted to look at the cards. If you guys like what you're seeing, please toss us a little follow. Especially on the YouTube links. See you, Josh. Yeah, moving into the next round. This hand's fine. It's not very good at all, but like, you can't really mulligan to look for more on a deck that has to hit 1,000 lands. Like, we have the lands, we have sensors. If they don't have a very fast draw, the sensors will do a lot of work. There's just absolutely no way we're a favorite versus any deck that has a Highland Lake in it. Yeah, it's one of our toughest matches. Like, we just expect to lose versus that, and we know we do. We did beat it once today, but, you know, that was pure luck. Is MTG my day job? That's kind of a good question to ask. Before I started streaming, I used to make a decent amount of money playing Magic, but ever since I've started streaming, I don't really make any money playing Magic at all. Like, I play worse on stream, I play the worse EV events on stream because I'm playing worse on stream, and the majority of the money I made come from speculating, buying and selling, and I just don't do any of that anymore. So, not really. I kind of don't have a job anymore. But I'm having fun. Counterspelling a champion's kind of awkward, but like, I feel like they could beat me down pretty easily. As slow as our draw will probably be. But no, I don't really make money playing Magic anymore. Kind of like slowly going Moto broke. Haven't even read the spoilers. Haven't even taken the time to read the spoilers. Haven't tried to find anything to buy and sell. Did really good with hours though. Trophy Mage. Is there probably some kind of God Pharaoh's gift deck? Either way, I think it's good enough to counterspell that. Just don't want to have to deal with it if that's what they're playing. It is currently still in the garage. They told me it would be done at 1 today. They called back about a half an hour ago whenever I muted the stream, so it was sometime during the last match, and told me that they couldn't figure out what was wrong with the brakes, so I'm not actually sure what's going on with it. If he is playing God's Pharaoh's Gift, match 1 or game 1 has always felt pretty good versus them. See, game 2 and 3 that felt so hard. Like, it's really hard for us to beat Maelstrom Wanderer. We have plans that can beat most of their other cards, but Maelstrom Wanderer is like its own different little beast. This guy doesn't mind to attack the crap out of me. If they're playing the Decandio build, they also have Chandra's out of the sideboard. I think it's fine. We're probably going to be looking for a Wrath of God this turn. I don't actually want either of those. There's a Wrath of God, but I also wanted a land to go with the Wrath. So if I want a land to go with the Wrath, I probably need to cycle at least one cast out. I don't think I want to cycle the second one. Yeah. I'm going to try to hold up a counterspell. When we play it. So they left this untapped now, so something's changed. They've attacked with this every turn since they played it, and now they're not attacking with it, so something has definitely changed for them now. Alright. So we held up Censor so that they couldn't play a gate and sack it in one turn. Would have obviously rather hit a land so we could just Supreme Will and not have to worry about the gate at all. willing to play this game where neither of us do anything. I think it's better for me than it is for them. Sure. Hmm. That's kind of bad for us, because we have to counterspell it, and that puts us in really bad shape now. Puts us in really bad shape now, because now we don't have an answer to their next one. We were really just hoping that was a gate. But it looks like they get to do whatever they want, and there's nothing we can do. Oh, they're just tapping 5 mana? So, never mind. Okay, that's something we can beat. So not something we can beat with this. Alright, well this game is about to get frustrating. Red Rover, send us an approach question mark on over? I don't even know if approach is good for me here. 3 angel inventions now? Ugh. Cast out's good for me though. I've thought about adding the 4 for Rivulet, but I've never thought about taking out the approaches. I feel like versus a lot of decks that you're just like trying to buy time, like the Rivulets and stuff would be much, much worse versus Teamer where they can barely beat approach. There's a good chance he's only got 1 to 2 God's Pharaoh's gifts, so like, if we get a cast out on his other God's Pharaoh gift, that's pretty decent for us. He's got to play something. Just kind of like sit here and wait for him. Mausoleum Wanderer. That's one of the cards we didn't want to see. Just don't want that to be in his deck at all, ever, anywhere. Can't really deal with that card. Sure. So negate hard wins here. They may not have another God Pharaoh's Gift. Like, that could have put us really far ahead. We'll have to see. Another Wharf. Wharfs do some amount of work, but they don't do enough for us to care. We're just going to try to... probably going to try to Immolating Glare it. Depends on if he adds anything to the board pre-combat. We'll save the Fumigates in case he does get an Angel or a God's Pharaoh Gift in play. Well, he has 3 God's Pharaoh Gifts in his deck. I guess we just lose then. That's fine. Happens. We've gone through as many cards in our deck as them, so maybe we can find a 4th cast out, or like a draw 2, or our first approach. Like, a lot of cards would be nice for us here. Gonna just take this big hit. The third God's Pharaoh Gift was kind of a dagger, but we did draw our approach, so we're still playing Magic. Yes. We have a Glare for the next thing they play. And then we can try to cast out on the next turn. They have a 4th God's Pharaoh's Gift. Oh boy, then we really hurting. Sure. It is. The 40 is pretty good versus them, that's for sure. There's an argument that I could have kept that for another Angel. They're just gonna get. They're starting to Milford their deck way too rapidly, though. With each creature and thing they play, it becomes harder and harder for us to beat them. Though a couple of rivulets might would do the trick. The problem really isn't them attacking or dealing damage to you. It's the problem post-board that they get a million Maelstrom Wanderers. And like they basically shut you down entirely. That's the big issue. Whoops. The big issue is like you see that they've gone through like 40 cards, right? So like the problem is like post board they find just a million dispels, a million negates. They still have all of their normal game plan, and then they have the Maelstrom Wanderers to bring back. They are going to be down to 16 cards, though. So, like, they're kind of running on fumes in that regard. We might need to find one more Fumigate this game, but I think if we find another Fumigate, we'll definitely get there. Well, I don't know that we'll definitely get there, but I think we'll definitely get there. So we know it's currently 7 cards down. They only get 2 more attack steps. But they're pretty deep into their deck. It's pretty easy for them to find Angel. Angel would let them win into attack steps. A 4th God's Pharaoh's Gift would be the most daggery dagger that's ever daggered me. Yeah, so start with a cycle on this. So it's now 6 cards down. And it's now 5 cards down. They have their own Rivulet, so like we can't use our own Rivulet to draw our approach, which is kind of bad. But they might not think about the play. Hopefully they just tap it for some arbitrary reason. It's like not even a Champion's in their graveyard, so like they can't go get it. There's the Champions. They discarded a Chaos Maul. Well, we can't really, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We can't really use this, or they can just win. I wonder if it's worth using this just to see if they don't see it. Probably not. It's probably not worth it. Especially when all the approaches are still in our deck. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we're pretty comfortably alive with the exception of them drawing their 4th angel. And now we can use Supreme Will in response to them using Rivulet if we need to try to find it. So they have a 1 in 11 chance to win. Alright, well they missed. That's good. A 1 in 11 chance to have won that turn. They can definitely Rivulet away my approach, but this could hit us a different approach. We still get to look at 5 different cards. We know one of our approaches is in our top 4 cards. It's kind of a long match. I apologize, guys. And we grab our approach with our Supreme Will. Chaos Maul's main deck were a new addition. Alright, well he scooped. Alright, well anyway, game 2 and 3 are the hard games versus them. The authorities definitely come in. They don't win the game, but they do try to help you buy a lot of time. The negates also have to come in. We no longer have our Dispel on our sideboard, which is a little unfortunate. The Limvalas can do a little bit of work, but not a lot of work. And the Caracals are okay to try to put pressure on them early. And the Descends are okay. Cards that are bad. Well, Blessed Alliance is just bad. Gideon doesn't do anything very much. And then you want to cut like some of these slower card draw spells and a Fumigate and an Approach or two. You're like not very likely to win if Approach is post board. Don't really know what else to cut. I like all the counter spells. If they kept Chaos Maul in, then the Regal Cats do nothing. But like, we can't know that they left that stuff in, right? Immolating Glares are okay, but not great. They do help deal with an Angel, but like the Angel's the only card I'd want to get with them. This hand's slow as sin. Slow as sin, we say. Alright, we'll keep it. They had their best turn one. Quite honestly, I don't have room for a 4th. I'm actually thinking it should be 0. They're not the best in multiples either. And this is the card that we fear from them. It's just like instant and sorceries, right? Like you can't stop the enchantment. Yeah. Oh, well, they got a gate right off the bat. Hopefully they don't hit particularly well with it. Yeah. I say 0 because I believe that the red deck win match is so bad that it's not worth it. I used to think we were favored versus red deck wins, but when I thought we were favored versus red deck wins, we had both of got rid of 2 negates there. We had both at the time. We had authorities in the main deck, and we had Ether Meltdowns, which I think are better than Immolating Glares versus that deck. So I think I've made enough changes to the deck that the deck's just not good versus them anymore. That may be wrong. Like, maybe you're still fine versus them. Who knows? They don't have 6 creatures in their graveyard, so we'll go ahead and try to hit this. They have a negate, they have a negate. That's 3 of their negates gone, so we don't have to worry a whole lot about them. We just need to find an untapped land. That's not an untapped land. What's up, Mindless Marty? What are you into today? Untapped land would be a pretty nice draw here so that we could get past the Maelstrom Wanderer. But we're still in pretty bad shape because like they have their looter effect on. They're going to get at least 1 more loot. I'm not a big fan of Blossoming Defense. Most of my removal spell comes in the forms of negates, or sorry, fumigates and blessed alliances. Whereas if I only have like 2 immolating, well, the finding the 3rd gate just ends us. We didn't hit the land anyway, so I guess it didn't matter. But we definitely need lands. Could still hit a Descend, I guess. He doesn't have 6 cards in his graveyard yet, so like a Descend would still be good. Negate would be much better, I believe. So we're in about as bad shape as it gets. We do have double approach in our hand, which does do some things and will beat some draws. They've already gone through 3 negates. They're going to be getting back 4-power Maelstrom Wanderer, though, which is one of the big problems here. I'm not actually sure what unnatural selection is. We just 1, 2, 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So we're not just dead. We're at 1? Is that right? I think that's 14. Well, that hurts. Pay 2? Sure. Why, yes. So go back to 7. Destroy target artifact or enchantment, you gain 2 life. Oh yeah, that's a pretty good card. Yeah, Solemnity out of the Mono White Eldrazi decks is pretty good. There's a card called, is that card, I think in English that card's like Appetite of Destruction or something. I don't actually remember the exact word, or I don't remember exactly what it's called. So this is kind of an interesting spot here. I believe it's safer just to cast the Hard Slam the Linvala so they can't attack. Didn't think it was called that. Michael Jacob thinks there needs to at least be a minimum of 1 in the sideboard of Temur. Okay, yeah. I was going to say in my language, I think it says something different, but I wasn't 100% sure. So my creatures are now bigger than his creatures. That's something. I don't know if it matters, but it's something. No, it's definitely a good card for that sideboard. It's good versus Solemnity. It's good versus like Sky Ships. There's a few different cards that it's pretty good versus. Another Maelstrom Wanderer. Alright, well things are getting a lot harder for us. Guess we'll just go ahead and cycle this. They're getting ready to draw like a million cards every turn, which is a problem. Like they have 1 Champion of the Wits on their sideboard. They're going to have to counterspell a bunch of approaches. I don't know why they're tapping mana. I guess maybe they're going to Rivulet something. Mine actually aren't in English. Mine are all in Korean and Russian. But yeah, things are obviously getting considerably worse as every turn goes by and like they have a silly God Pharaoh's Gift in play. Yeah, I probably wouldn't put it in versus me either. They're attacking with this one? I mean, that seems fine. Gives me a chance to draw another one of those if we want. With the exception of them getting another angel in their graveyard, we might be able to get an approach through. We've somehow navigated this game to where we have more life than them. It's kind of odd they didn't sacrifice their Maelstrom Wanderer. Personally, I would rather have none. I don't they're good versus this deck, but I think this deck can win with its creatures post board versus Teamer. Like, I don't think they have to have approach, and I only want Evasive Surgery versus decks that I think can't beat, or that can beat the approaches, or can't win, or can't lose to approach a less approach. You know what I mean? I don't know what I'm trying to say. Like the Reanimator decks really can't. He conceded. Why did he concede? Does he see our hand? And if he does see our hand, why didn't he just sacrifice a Maelstrom Wanderer? Anyway, let me try to spit out what I was trying to say. I don't like Invasive Surgery if there's a chance that opponent can win with just his creatures. The Invasive Surgeries and Lost Legacy seem really good out of like the Reanimator decks, because the Reanimator decks can never beat the approach plan. But like the Teamer decks can sometimes beat the approach plan, and sometimes they lose to the creature plan. So like I don't want a narrow card that doesn't guaranteed win me the game. That's what I'm trying to say. Correct, but if he'd sacked it and put it in his graveyard, he could have God Pharaoh's gifted and brought it back, and when it brought it back, it would have been a 4/4 from the God Pharaoh's gift, and he would have been able to counterspell the second one with the 4/4. Like it did nothing itself. Like counterspelling it did nothing itself, but putting it in his graveyard to where it can come back as a 4/4 did a lot. Anyway, we have one quick removal spell, and we have some censor, a censor, and some draw spells. So like this hand's pretty good. They most always have a Toolcraft Exemplar versus me, because that's what Jesus loves. I actually think we're favored in this match, but I'm not entirely sure. And they have their best draw. Man, I've been playing for 20 years. Maybe I've been playing since 93, and I still have a lot to learn. So they have one of their best draws versus us. This is one of the matches that I think Effort Meltdown's considerably better versus than the Glare. Really hoping he can't crew the Heart of Kiran with anything other than the Toolcraft. That'd be swell. Yeah, well, never mind. He's just sending the Toolcraft. Either way, it's worth killing. We could draw another removal spell next turn. We don't care about what 3 drops they play. We only care about what 4 drops they play. And they could just not have anything. Like, there's no guarantee that the Heart gets crewed this turn, which is why I like attacking of the Heart more than the Toolcraft. Or they could just like top deck a second Heart. Not going to cycle. We have our land drop, and like the Censor can still hit a Gideon if they don't have a 5th land. They do have a 5th land. We're in a little bad shape, but we have the Glimmer. We can look for like a cast out or something. Well, they had the 5th land. So that's obviously bad for us. Fault-Knot Seer. Yeah, it's worth glimmering. We'll put the Supreme Will on top. Ooh, we got an Immolating Glare. Well, the Immolating Glare is great, and that's probably what he's going to take. We are getting pretty high in land count, though. He probably takes the Glare here. I think it's the best card. So it's good to know that he's playing the build that only has the Gideons out of the board. He's playing maybe not the exact 75, but the build that won the Grand Prix. I think we're better versus that than we are the Gideon build. Like, if this was a Gideon, I don't think we could have beat it. This as a Fault Not Seer, I think is very beatable. If Aldi would take the glare. Like, in fact, if we just draw land, we probably can beat the board. That's a pretty good card. It's going to soak up at least 4 damage no matter what. As the Fault Not Seer can no longer attack. Very likely going to censor the cycle. Could soak up 8 damage too because, like, he probably needs to attack it. Our life total is getting lower, though, and we're going to need to use this Rivulet for mana. Excuse me. He's putting a lot of thought into this turn. Archangel Avacyn. Well, that's kind of good for us. It gives us a Fumigate as being a very good card to draw. He knew we had the Supreme Will, is why he went ahead and main phased it. Hey, Rain Soda. I got your message earlier and I plan to respond. I was just going to do it after stream. Alright, so this is kind of bad for us. Not hitting the land is what was really bad for us, though. Yeah, not hitting the land here was brutal. Pretty well have to hit the land. Alright, so now we have a decision to make. Do we live 2 turns if we don't hit an untapped land? So he plays a creature and cruise, we could go down to 8, and then he would have 3 things we'd have to kill. We'd have to top deck exactly Fumigate. Or... No, I think we have to be greedy. Like, this play could cost us the game, but I don't think we win a game without making the play. Does that make sense? I'm pretty sure we just die if we don't play a land this turn. Pretty sure we just die if we don't play an untapped land this turn. Alright, well, we get to play some more. Hopefully they don't have another creature to Concrude a Heart. We still have to draw like an untapped land to feel great about ourselves. Opponent's putting a lot of thought into play when I don't think he has that many options. We have to get rid of something that's going to deal damage. So if he has like a creature, we can get rid of the Fault Not Seer, but like if he's just crewing, we have to get rid of the heart. Three in hand is pretty bad, but like doesn't happen that often. And drawing the second one was amazing, right? Like, we would just not win this game without the second one. And if we'd only had the one, like, maybe he could have took it with the Fault-Not Seer earlier. Or if we only had two, he could have took it with the Fault-Not Seer, and we'd have to be drawing to the third to even win. Yeah, we have to kill Heart. If he played a creature, we could get the Fault-Not, but... So, like, yeah, this kind of, like, looks bad, but... It's not as bad as it looks. Like, just assume this approach here was a different card. Say it was the 26th land, or say it was the Essence Scatter. Like, we may have drawn it on the turn that we couldn't use it as an Essence Scatter. And if he'd Fault-Knotted one of these, the game was probably over. But it may not be. Yeah, four sometimes feels like overkill. But, like, drawing 2 seems really good. Alright, so we're down to 4. Or down to 8. He's got this thing that can deal 2 damage to us. He's got these things. Well, we didn't hit our land, so that's a little unfortunate. And now we're dead. Have no out. Alright, happens. Not finding lands, bad. Alright, versus their deck, I generally don't think I need to do any sideboarding. I feel like I'm pretty favored main deck. I do think the Linvalas are a little bit better versus the Fault-Not version than a lot of the other builds. So we will bring the Linvalas in. But like I feel like a pretty heavy favorite in this match. We'll bring in the 2 negates too, just in case they bring in their Gideons. So we win that last game pretty easily if we just hit an untapped land on that turn exactly, but... Yeah, this hand's great. Probably going to try to cycle this at some point. So we're just going to start with a prairie. And we're 3-1, so like at least we get a PD chest either way. I do feel pretty favored in this match. We got pretty lucky to find the 1 land on the cast out though, on a very greedy turn, so like it's not that big of a deal if we lose. The Censor's a beautiful pickup. Just a beautiful pickup. We had a Red Ring played Heart, but like him playing Scrap Heap's not the end of the world. May no longer cycle to farmlands. It depends on our draw step. Oh, yeah, we're still definitely cycling to farmlands. I would also Immolating Glare that, just so I don't have to deal with it. He doesn't have the black mana currently, and taking damage sucks. But as you can see, like this is a match that I would much rather have these just been Effort Meltdowns, because putting an Effort Meltdown on that is a lot better than putting it in the graveyard. So don't really care what he plays here. Got a black mana back. So yeah, I'm like pretty sure like getting punished for not having the meltdowns kind of sucks. Sand has to be pretty weak. No, I guess it's not very weak at all. Opponent has what they call everything. We're going to save our sensor to try to peg a Fault-Knot Seer, I believe. Or Gideon, like whatever they played on for. I would rather cycle this anyway than play the Blessed Alliance. Our opponent keeps taking suspicious and odd pauses. Oh, boys. We gotta draw something. That's something, but it's not very good. So this hand's not working out very well. We need to draw a Glimmer. That would be the best card we could draw. That's not a Glimmer, friends. Sure. Scrap heap back for days. Sup, Al? Does anybody notice that every time Al comes into chat, like, the game doesn't look very good? Just trying to stall a little bit with these cards. Like, we desperately need to draw a draw two. Just desperately need to draw a draw two. But we drew a draw two. How greedy are we? Do we want to fumigate now or do we want to fumigate later? I guess we want to fumigate now. So we stay at 18 life, but we kind of like time walking a turn. He's only got one black mana, so he can only get one Scrap Heap Scrounger back at a time. Which is... to be honest, I didn't do my homework to go look at it. I'm probably just going to play the Dolian build again. I do think I'm going to play a second league at least. At the least, I think I'm going to. Might even play a third league. He tapped his black mana this time. That's a Gideon. Alright, well, we'll look for an answer to the Gideon. Neither of those are answers to Gideon or any card that we want. Let's see, 1-7. Alright, so we can cycle this. Rivulet's not a bad pickup. Might not have time. Oh, that card was very damaging. So he can kill us in 2 attack steps, so we're going to have something next turn. This is a bit of a problem. He's got a 14-point attack this turn. If that's what he chooses to do. Might be his best option. Anyway, we're going to be 6 cards down after our draw step. I thought we were going to win this game. Like, I felt really far ahead this game, and then, like, it's kind of spiraling a bit out of control. Can always just top deck approach and win. Like, we left all 4 approaches in, so there's always that. One-time approach. That's not an approach. Do we have any outs? At 8 life and him getting back another Scrap Heap Scrounger, I don't believe we have an out. Nope, we just lose. If we'd left Regal Caracol in the deck, I guess we would have had an out. Neither of those do anything. But had that been a Caracol, that would have got us another turn. Alright, well, we lost to Mardu. Again, I think this match is kind of favorable. I think we lost game 1 because we missed a couple land drops. In game 2, he drew this at the right time because you know he didn't have it in his hand any time before that. So we lost to Mardu, we lost to Ramp, we beat Godpharaoh's Gift, we beat Ramp, and we beat I wouldn't have had 9 mana, and we beat the Horsey deck. Don't know why that was like that. So that's not too terrible. So yeah, that I guess that does it for the blue-white. The blue-white approach deck. The meta still just doesn't seem good for it right now. I believe we probably lost game 1 and game 2 because these weren't Ephraim meltdowns. So like, just not a fan of these immolating glares. They just don't do anything. They should definitely be Ephraim meltdowns. But I wanted to test what the Grand Prix had done. Anyway, so that's it for Blue-White Approach. Again, if you're watching from YouTube, please follow if you enjoyed the video, and the deck list and the link to the Twitch and my Twitter are all in the description. And anytime you're watching in the Twitch chat, there's links down below the stream, and you can type !decklist in chat. Thank you.